We're doing the grand prize winner next for the Great Southeast, but before I do that, we're going to take a group shot at the end for all the winners. So everybody who received the plaque tonight, please come up to the podium at the end of the event. We'll take a quick shot. So we've arrived at the moment of truth. The grand prize winner for the Great Southeast Book Festival is a book called Alligator Alley. And this book marks a change-up for an author who's won many competitions for his political thrillers. Let me tell you the plot. Despite his material success and outward appearances of happiness, James Conrad feels empty inside. He is spending his 50th birthday alone in South Florida when he decides to take a drive along Alligator Alley into the depths of the Everglades, searching for childhood memories of his great uncle, a man who left his family behind to live on a Seminole Indian reservation. James discovers his small-town definition of success may be all a ruse. When given the chance to make a real change, James Conrad may make the hardest decision of his life. Alligator Alley is the story of one man's struggle with his own destiny, but it could be the story of anyone facing change in his or her life. As Rick Robinson states with simple eloquence, this book asks a very basic question: if you could change, would you? So please welcome a man who went through hell and high water to get here today, a talented author, a fine man. He's the king of the airport bookstores, too, Rick Robinson.
Bruce, Debbie, all the folks at JM Northern, thank you so much. They do such a great job at giving a forum to so many voices in this country that need to be told, and they really deserve a hand. Thank you for all that you've done. This is my 5th novel, and somebody asked me one time, how long does it take you to write a novel? And I'll tell you, this one took me 3 decades. When I was 17 years old, I had the opportunity to spend the day with the great Jesse Stewart. Jesse Stewart was the great mountain laureate, a Pulitzer Prize winner. I was 17 years old, and after spending the day with him as his gopher, I was convinced that what I wanted to do was I wanted to be like him. He wrote these wonderful coming-of-age novels about growing up in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. I grew up in a small little river town in Kentucky, and I wanted to do the same thing. There was one problem at the time. I was 17. One doesn't have much to say in a coming-of-age novel when you're 17. And literally for 30 years, I tried to write this novel. You laugh. That's actually my kid's joke.
Because I understand.
Yeah, my kid's joke is Dad tried to write a coming-of-age novel, could never get past the 3rd chapter. It has always been this basic story that I wanted to tell of my great uncle. My great uncle loved to fish. Life was all about fishing, and one day his wife said to him, "Chip, you got to make up your mind to spear the fish," so he left her. True story, and moved to the Everglades, where he lived with the Seminole Indian tribe. And I remember as a kid going out to the reservations down in the Everglades and meeting him and talking with him and spending time with him and learning how to fish out there. And so I had this idea for this story, and I had this thing swimming around in my head, and I started this novel 20, 30 times over the last 30 years. And a year ago, my son came to me, the middle child, comes to me as Zachary, and he says to me, "Dad, you're always giving me these challenges. Did you know November is National Write a Novel in a Month month?" And I said, "I've never heard of that." He said, "NaNoWriMo, it's right here. It's got a website, it's got a page. You do a workout every night to keep up with it. You always challenge me. I'm now challenging you to finish that novel that you always talked about." And it probably became the greatest gift my son ever gave me. Because I really got into the novel. I really started thinking about what I might say now at age 55 that I didn't have to say when I was 17. The other part of this novel that became really cool was that my brother-in-law, who is a 5th-generation Floridian, was kind enough to take him and one of his buddies, Scorch Chastain. Now, if you think that's weird, he's a fireman too. Scorch and my brother-in-law, both firemen, take me down into the Everglades for 2 days. And part of the vivid color of this particular book comes from the fact that those guys let me see a part of the Everglades that I don't think most folks ever get a chance to see. And I want to thank them. Also want to thank, here with me tonight is actually one of my editors, who, my law partner, is one of my best editors that I have. He happened to be in town working on a case, and I want to thank Jeff Landon for all that he does for my books. He makes me sound much smarter than I actually am. My friend Kevin Kelly did a wonderful cover for this, as he always does. My publicist, Debbie McKinney. And I have to really thank also my publisher, Kathy Tietz, and the folks at Headline Books. Normally, when you have 5 political thrillers behind you, they don't like a whole lot when you say, I'm going to switch genres and take on a whole new group of folks, but I was able to convince her to do this, and I appreciate the folks at Headline Books for doing this. Finally, to my kids, Josh, Zach, and Mackenzie, I hope someday they understand what this book is about. And to my best editor, my wife, and my lover, and my best editor that I have, Linda, hopefully it won't take me 27 hours to get back home tomorrow like it took me to get down here today with the folks at Delta. Thank you all very much for the support. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
As the winner of the Great Southeast Book Festival, Rick gets a check for $1,500. So let's get all the winners up here. Let's take a photo, and then you can hang out or you can be on your way and enjoy the rest of the night in New Orleans. Thank you for your attention.